Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of the 1990 Honda CR125 project. As you guys know, I picked up this bike for $600 a couple days ago, and we got it home. It had pretty low compression, around 95 pounds of compression. It had spark, but it was not firing. And we changed the spark plug, we took out the air filter, we put some gas on the carburetor, we put some gas down the cylinder, and it would not fire up. So today we are going to be taking apart the whole bike, looking at the top end, and inspecting everything here. Looks like it's leaking some coolant out through here, so that could be a potential problem. Looks like this line is cut up there. You can see there's some fluid coming out. Looks like there's some coolant coming through the bolt hole. So my guess is that the head gasket is blown and it's letting coolant through to the cylinder, which is preventing it from igniting the fuel with the spark plug, and it's not popping over. Because even with 95 pounds of compression, it should pop over and at least fire up a little bit. It probably wouldn't have much power, but it would still fire. We're gonna take everything off this bike and start digging into the top end. This should be very exciting. I'm curious to see. I've been waiting for like 2 days. I've had other projects to do. Been waiting for like 2 days to see what's wrong with this bike, so I'm really excited. We're gonna take it outside. It's nice and sunny out, and work on it out there, and we'll see what's wrong with this bike. Stay tuned. Alright, gas tank off. We're going to drain the coolant out now. A lot of coolant coming out of there. Looks like brand new coolant. Oh. So we can get these coolant lines off of here. Better water my grass. Alright, that's off of there. Getting close to taking off the head here. Looks like it was pretty wet. The plug is like saturated in coolant, it looks like. So hopefully that was the problem right there. We're going to take these off, and then the head bolts off. Or the head nuts, I should say.
Just hold your hand.
Alright, time to take off the head. Alright, open her up, see what she looks like. Piston look okay?
Yeah.
Just looks like there was coolant in there. Did gasket fail or something? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Doesn't look bad. That's weird.
That's hot.
Maybe it's just a ring.
There's no gasket?
Oh, there's a gasket right here.
Oh.
Maybe the gasket was on wrong. Didn't even check that.
How was it put on? Like that?
I mean, that's right.
Yeah.
But if it's on wrong, then it would...
It could flip the other way. I don't think it matters, no.
Checking out the cylinder wall here. Slowly spin that guy. Looks pretty... No scratches. Okay, so the power valves are stuck. It looks like... Are they supposed... No, they're supposed to be like that, I think. Are they stuck open?
I don't know.
Let's see. They're open right now.
Huh. That
Feel.
must be it then.
I think they are. Can you go all the way to the pipe?
Yeah.
I think they're stuck open. Seems smooth in there. Interesting.
That is weird. Definitely not a new piston in there.
No, definitely does not have a new piston. So it's definitely smooth. Cylinder wall feels really good, no scratches. So we're just gonna take off the whole cylinder and check it over. Could be the power valve's not closing too. I'm not quite sure.
Could be a lot of things.
Could be a lot of things, yeah. Here's what the head looks like. There's a little divot right there, a little mark right there, but otherwise not too bad. That's all smooth in here. So the head looks pretty good. Alright guys, check out the power valve situation here. In 1990 they came up with this design. There's like a bunch of gears and stuff going on. And then Charlie, you want to push down on it?
It's pretty sick, but...
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. It goes all the way down if you push down up here.
Yeah. Can't really grip it.
But then these, the power valves in there, move out. So if you can try to do it, yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. So it allows more air to go past to the pipe. Huh, pretty cool. But now, what we need to do is take off that little pin right here. And this arm slides off of that, and we can take off the whole cylinder. Pretty cool. Is that how yours is set up?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know if
Probably
it's
not
exactly
that
like
that
but
intricate. They probably made it a little easier to work on. But we'll get the cylinder off and see what's wrong with it. It's gotta be either rings are stuck or a gouge way down deep. It's gotta be something. All right, then there's a nut right in the power valve area that we have to get off. Quick, get that off. All right, guys, somebody must have tried to take off the cylinder before this thing was stripped out really badly, so I had to take a flathead screwdriver and just knock on it with a hammer until that thing came loose. But it was stuck underneath here. It was the last nut I had to take off. It's right there. But now this whole thing should slide right off. And we just gotta get the carburetor off now. And then we can take off the cylinder. Yep, see it. Alright, we got the subframe unhooked here. Now we can probably get that carburetor out pretty easily. Alright, we got the reeds out of here. You can see there's a huge gap in the reeds right there. You can see light through those pretty easily. So these need to be flipped around for sure. I think that's a pretty big gap. That one's got a pretty big gap as well. So both of them need to be switched around. That goes like that. Here's the little clip. That was in the power valve area, holding on that rod. Alright, it's definitely getting caught up on something. Well guys, I think we found the culprit. We got the cylinder off. This is looking all perfect. Not one single scratch in there. Whoa, lots of coolant though. Holy cow. But yeah, the cylinder looks good. That was the thing I was concerned about the most, because cylinders are expensive. But the thing, I think this is why it was kind of low in compression. Check out the ring. It's sealed into the piston on the back end right here. Look at that. The rest of the ring moves, and that's why we were getting some compression. But then the one side of the ring isn't coming out of that piston. So if you guys remember last video, I actually predicted that the ring was going to be stuck partially, and it's stuck partially. Look at that, right in the back right there. So that's awesome. We're going to order up some new gaskets. We're going to get a new piston, but you can see it's stuck in the back right over here, and that is the issue we were having with it. So we'll take the piston off, check out the crank, and see what happens. Alright, let's take this piston off of here. One of them is out now. Next one. That little guy came out of there. Wrist pin. Alright, so the bearing looks pretty good. Piston looks decent, but as we know, the ring is stuck right there. And then the wrist pin looks good. And let's check out the rod here. So the rod is actually I think it's a hot rods. So it is actually a hot rod. You can see on the side of the crank, you can see it says hot rods. And you guys seem to think that those are pretty good. Let's check the play on this thing. See if it goes up and down here. No play up and down. Side to side there's a little bit, so it's perfect. You can see up and down, tight, side to side, just a little bit of play. So that crank is good to go. Good to go. So that's awesome. So we just need a new piston and rings, and we should be good. We'll get the caliper out, measure the bore on this thing, and order up some new parts. I started cleaning off the motor here. You can see all the crap that came off of it, right here and right here. Just cleaning it up a bit. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good running bike once we get a new piston and rings in there. And I'm pretty happy that that's all that was the problem. Alright guys, let's get a little close-up of the piston and why it failed here. Okay, so you can see that the ring expands on this side of the piston. So this would be the right side of the piston was fine, but the left side, you can see it failed. And if you look really closely, you can see that the ring is like super thin in that spot. So it actually welded the ring into the piston. If you look. And you can see there's some blow-by right where it got welded. And on the rest of the piston, there's a little bit right here, but it's really bad right here. But that's where it ended up welding the ring to the piston. So you can see it's just pinched right there. So something failed on this. Guessing wrong gas and oil mixture caused it to heat up too much and melt that piston right there. Alright, time to take off the chain. We took off the little chain guard right here. It's all crusty in there. We're gonna get some new sprockets and chain for this thing too. And get this all cleaned up in here. You can see there's a bunch of crap coming out of it. And the chain is really, really rough. And then the back sprocket is just horrible. So we're gonna take this whole chain off and we'll order up a new one. I can't stand looking at it. Old chain off of the bike now. Looks like that's gonna be a 12. See, this sprocket wasn't horrible, but it's still pretty bad. You can see how it kind of arcs this way, like kind of like a wave. And if we look at the back ones, it does that same pattern. So both need to be changed at the same time when you get the new chain. Otherwise, it just wears out your chain a lot quicker. But we'll clean up the area in here. Let's see how much crap comes out of that. Alright, that's looking pretty good in there now. A little close-up action. And then we're going to do the chain guard and then a couple more parts in the engine, then that should be pretty clean. The shock seems pretty good in the back. That's not leaking at all or anything. We might need to be putting new fork seals in. They might be a little bit leaky. But we'll try the business card trick where you put the business card up the seal and just see if it cleans them out. There could be just a little bit of debris in there. But yeah, looking pretty good so far. We can clean out the air box. It's a little crusty in there. Looks like a bunch of crap is in there. And then, yeah, the bike really isn't too bad. We'll just clean up a little bit more and then see what happens here. Alright guys, I got all the parts in a box right here. We're just going to go over some of the flaws that I saw with the bike here. So when I took off the head, I noticed that there's a little nick right here, a little nick right there, and then one right there. So I'm not sure what that's from. It almost looks like a little piece of metal got caught and was pounding against the head. But that's not too bad. I'll just take a little Dremel and get those burrs off of there. But we can reuse the head. Alright, next is the cylinder. I originally thought that maybe the head gasket went out, and the gasket actually looks pretty good. So I don't think that went out. It is pretty thin, but I think that's how it's supposed to be. There's no holes or rips in it, so I think that was fine. The other problem, so the next thing is the cylinder. I'm really happy about this. There are 0 scratches inside the cylinder, and we got really lucky there. But if you look, I mean, that thing's really nice. So 0 scratches there. The power valves are moving up and down perfectly, and I don't think there's any issues here. We'll clean this up when we've got the piston and the rings, and then we'll put this back on the bike. But it's just a little bit dirty. It's not even that bad. It looks like somebody spray painted this side of it, but other than that, looks like a pretty good cylinder. And then you guys know about the reeds and the piston. We went over those already. But I just wanted to quick measure the piston here. I'll turn on our little ruler here. Let's see. Zeroed out into millimeters. And we'll measure this. Right now we're getting 54, 34, 34, 54, 37, 54, 54, 47, so 54.50. So I wonder what the stock one is. We're going to quick look that up and then see what kind of piston we need to order. Alright guys, so the standard size piston is a 54 millimeter, but this Honda CR125 Wiseco piston kit is a 55 or 54.5 millimeter from 1990 to 1991. And I look down here, and the manufacturer part number matches the part number on the old piston, so we're good to go. So it says 545505450, and this one says 595505450. So that looks like the right one. So we're gonna watch that, and then it's $106, so quite a bit for that. And then we need a gasket kit as well. So we'll quick look up gasket kit. Oh, there's one for 26 bucks. So we're gonna have about 130 bucks into this. $600 plus $130 is $730 in total. So that's not too bad. Oh, and we need sprocket and chain. So watch this. And then we need sprocket and chain. So we're looking at like around 50 bucks for the sprocket and chain. So we're gonna have like 200 bucks into it. So we're gonna have like $800 in total into this bike, which isn't too bad. All right, guys, you can see that the inside of this gas tank and shrouds are painted black. We're gonna use the citrus strip and just layer that on. So then the next day we can just peel it off. All right, that's all lathered up. So we're just gonna wait 24 hours, come back, and it should peel right off. We've got all the other parts laying over here. We've got the seat. The seat's in really good condition actually. Not ripped at all. And then we've got the air filter, which is actually like almost brand new. And then brand new side plastics. And then the pipe and the silencer need some work. You can kind of hear some stuff rattling around in there. Some work on the pipe. I think this definitely needs to be repacked and cleaned up and painted. So that's where we are with the project. Stay tuned. We'll be ordering the piston and the rings and the gaskets, and then we'll be putting the bike back together. Anyway guys, if you need any motorcycle, ATV, dirt bike, or scooter parts, check out lap2.com. Lots of good parts up there. And I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching guys. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are out.